The trust of friendship. Long ago in Finland, there lived a young man named Miker, who had committed a grave offense against the king and was sentenced to death. Though his crime was serious, Miker was known as a devoted and loving son. As the day of his execution approached, his heart was filled not with fear for himself, but with sorrow for his mother, who lived far away. Before facing death, Miker made a final request. He wished to return home once more to see his mother, kneel before her, and beg forgiveness for his unfilial behavior, above all, for failing to care for her in her old age. This plea was brought before the king. Moved by Miker's sincerity and filial devotion, the king agreed, but set a condition that seemed almost impossible. Miker must find someone willing to take his place in prison while he traveled home. If he failed to return on time, that person would die in his stead. At first, this condition appeared utterly unrealistic. Who would willingly gamble with their own life for another? Yet among the vast sea of people, there was one man who stepped forward without hesitation. He was Galileo, Miker's closest friend. Trusting Miker completely, Galileo agreed to take his place and was immediately imprisoned. Miker then hurried back to his hometown to see his mother for the last time. Days passed, then more days. Miker had not yet returned. As the execution date drew closer, whispers spread among the crowd. Some shook their heads in disappointment. Others cursed Miker as a heartless traitor. They mocked Galileo, calling him foolish for sacrificing himself for a friend who would never come back. The day of execution arrived under a cold, relentless rain. Galileo was escorted to the execution ground. The people who watched felt deep pity for him. Yet Galileo's face showed no fear or regret. Calm and composed, he accepted his fate with a peaceful heart, trusting his friend to the very end. As the drum sounded to announce the hour of execution, and the executioner prepared his chains, some onlookers shut their eyes, unable to bear the sight. In their hearts, they silently condemned Miker. But at that very moment, when hope seemed lost and life hung by a thread, a voice rang out through the rain. "I have returned! I have returned!" Miker came running toward the execution ground, breathless and soaked, but determined. The crowd stood frozen, unsure whether this was a dream. Yet it was real. Miker had kept his promise. The news quickly reached the king, who was equally astonished, deeply moved by the unwavering trust between the two friends, one who risked his life to say farewell to his mother, and the other who entrusted his own life to friendship. The king ordered that Miker's death sentence be revoked. This true story has touched hearts for generations, illuminating the noblest qualities of the human spirit. Throughout history, countless tales have been told about friendship, but in the end, they all come down to two simple words: trust and faith.